So yeah, asynchronous programming. What is this asynchronous programming? Let us talk about it. Let me take this code and run it. I'll run it and I'll show you. You'll see some difference. Estimate time. Okay. Let's say look at the time. Look at this time on screen and tell me how many seconds did this code run. Or else wait. Let me keep let one equal to one. Huh. Now tell me for how many seconds this code has run. You can see that seconds here. Put it in chat. Everyone, I'll tell you why we use asynchronous programming and all. Put it in chat. How many seconds this code has run. I see. So what is single thread? I'll tell you what is single thread and multi-thread. I'll tell you. For 0.075 seconds. For 0.075 seconds, this code has run. Now, let's add a very big number. Now, start script got printed. Start script got printed. Oh, my laptop fan speed is getting increased. Okay. It is also getting a bit heat. Wait, but it will be executed. Wait. It takes some time. Understand still the output will be coming. Start script got printed. Console.log done is not printed. Console.log done not printed. Only line number 292 got printed. 293 not yet printed. 294 not yet printed. I'll ask you a question. Wait, I'll ask you a question. Still it is running and my fan speed is getting increased. You cannot hear it maybe, but I can hear it. It's getting it like rotating in full RPM mode, but it is still running. Let's wait for it to complete, because I just want to I'll show you a small thing. This is still running. I should not have given a longer number maybe. Why this taking too late? Because see the number ones. How much big? How many number of times I have given it? I don't know. Can't even count it. We'll see it in browser. It's 1 quintillion. It seems 1 quintillion. So 1 quintillion times this code has to run. In my CPU, my whatever the processor I have, it has to run this 1 quintillion times. Not billion, not trillion. 1 quintillion. I think it's better to stop the execution. 1 second. Let it complete. Okay, I'm just stopping it. I don't know when this. No break. No 10-minute break. I'm stopping it because I don't know when it is gonna come. I don't know the exact time. Yeah, when I stopped it, my fan speed is getting reduced now. Let's decrease the number. I think I have given a very big number. Let's decrease it. Okay, this number is good. Okay, now let's add 2 more zeros. Still it is coming fast. Let's add another 2 more zeros. Let's add 2 more zeros. There is a small gap right now. This is what I want. This is what I want. Everyone wants to. My system is i9 actually. I just recently I bought it. i9 it is. So yeah, wants to look at the screen. Wants to look at the screen. If I run this code now, start script is getting printed. Download a file and done. Both are taking time. Both are taking time. Can anyone tell me why? I already said the answer, but can anyone tell me why? Can anyone tell me why? I'll ask you a question also. Start script is getting printed first. After a 1 second of time, download a file and done is getting printed. Why? No, don't run this code, Devesh. No one. Like all of you, don't try to run this code. Sometimes systems may get stuck there. Already you are in a class, so it may get stuck. Don't do that. So I'll tell you the answer. Why? Because here I'm running it these many number of times. Now, in these three, which line is taking more number of time? Which line? Yeah, function loop is running. That's exactly right, Pramshu. In these three lines, which line is taking more number of time? Like, what is the which line is taking higher complexity, higher time complexity? Is it 292? Akash, look at the screen probably. Like, is it 292? 293? Some are saying 294. But the right answer is 293. If you look at the code properly, 292 is just a console.log. It's nothing. Just 0.001 second of time. It just prints like that. 294 also doesn't take much time. It should be printed very quick. Very quick. See, this takes 0.001 second. This takes 0.01 second. 1 second. But this is taking 1 second. This is taking 1 second. Now in these three lines, which line has a disadvantage when I'm running the code? When I'm running the code, start script is 0.01 second, it is getting printed. This is printing after 1 second. But if you look at the third line, 294, is it printing in 0.001 second? Is it printing in 0.01 second when I clicked on the run button? Can anyone answer it yes or no? Like, no, right? It is no. Why? What is stopping this console.log to print in 0.001 second? 293 stopping 294 because JavaScript is a line by line. JavaScript goes line by line, and here comes the concept of threading. What is threading? JavaScript is a single threaded programming language. If you have ever seen Marvel movies, there will be some multiverse kind of lines like this, like branches. Here JavaScript is a single line. It's not multiverse or multi lines like that. It is just a single line, a straight line. Now, here the execution takes place in a straight manner, in a top to bottom manner. For example, here, here in line number 293, if it is taking 2 days of time, 294 will be printed after 2 days only. 294 will be printed after 2 days. But in other programming languages, there is a concept of multi-threading. Multi-threading in the sense, automatically when you do this kind of thing, console.log done also will be printed first. It will be printed first. There is a concept called multi-threading. So whenever it sees something is blocking it, it creates a new branch and it executes the next line. This one will be executed afterwards. But in JavaScript, that's not the case. It is a single-threaded programming language. To solve this kind of problem, we introduced something called asynchronous. Now, what is this asynchronous? Let me show it to you. We have something called set timeout. We also call it callback functions. Now, if I write the same code here, see what happens. If I replace this code with something called we call this callback function. Remember, this is set timeout is an inbuilt one. Set timeout is not a function that you are writing. Set timeout is an inbuilt function in JavaScript. It is an inbuilt function. I told you in today's class we're gonna learn about two important things. One is set timeout, one is set interval. Set timeout and set interval. These are the two important concepts you're gonna learn today's class, that asynchronous class. Set timeout, this is about set timeout. What set timeout does is it runs this download a file after 1 second. After 1 second. For example, if I run this code now is my done printed first? Look at the screen and tell me, is my done printed with start script along with start script or no? Or no? Yes or no? Did we do justice to this line number 298 now? Again I'm running. Sorry. Did we do justice now? Yes, right? So that is why we use something motherboards and all. So now you can ask me, sir, in what is the use of this set timeout, sir? In JavaScript, where do I use it, sir? In projects, usually when you're calling to database or when you're doing API calls, remember what I'm saying? When you do API calls, API calls means you're calling a functionality which is given by some other website, or you want your in your web application, you're downloading an image from some other website. Okay, now it takes some time. During the time, other functionalities have to work. Let me show you an example. Let us take LinkedIn. See what happens here. When is everything got executed at the same time? Can you look at the screen and tell me? I'll do a refresh again if you want. Did everything came out at the same time, or first this came, or second this came, third this came? Like there will be a small lag, a small millisecond of difference. Here my net is fast, but that's why you're not able to see properly. In this website also I cannot show you. I want a new website which loads slow. But what I wanted to say is, whenever you open Facebook or something like that, first text will appear. Always first text will appear in a website. Then only images will start to load. Images, comments, likes, they start to load. First, when you open a website, text is the first thing that you're gonna see. You open any website you like, that's the government website. Okay. So yeah, that is also an example. If you open any website, first text will be coming, and then later on you can only see images. Later on, images and comments, extra things you can see. So that is done by your set timeout. That is the reason we will be using set timeout in JavaScript. So start script and done is printed. Download a file will be printed after 1 second. Now this is exactly working fine. Next. This is set timeout. This is also very simple class. Just two things: set timeout, set interval. You're gonna learn call stack. I've already shown it to you, but let me explain one more thing. Okay. This is also set timeout only. Let me explain you one more thing. Okay. You now wants to look at the screen, just a small theory. It's not related to code and all. It's a small theory. In your computer or laptops or anything, you will be having JavaScript runtime, web API, a thread pool. We call it thread pool, callback queue, and event loop. This is completely theoretical. If you are preparing for exams, this is useful. If you are not preparing for any computer science exam, this is not useful. Just as a friend, I'm telling it to you. Because it's just theoretical. This is all theoretical. You'll not be coding and all. You'll not be doing this coding and all. What is happening in the background? That's what I'm saying. In your JavaScript runtime, you will be having two things. One is heap objects and another is call stack functions. Call stack functions is the same thing that I taught you. Like call stack. What is a call stack? The same thing. Heap objects are nothing but the objects or anything that you use. Arrays, objects, anything that you store, any data that you're storing in your program, that gets stored in heap objects. Any objects that you create or any arrays that you create, those all will be stored in heap objects. Now this is set timeout function is there, right? This set timeout function, whenever you use in set timeout function, we always give another function. Now in set timeout function, we gave another function. Can you tell me what we have given? Can you tell? We have given another function in set timeout. Can you tell me what we have given in set timeout? Set timeout is calling another function. What is that function called? Yeah, it is called task. Set timeout is calling tasks. So what happens is whenever this JavaScript sees this set timeout, it throws that inside function, whatever the function set timeout is calling, it throws that function in a web API, in a thread pool. We call it a thread pool. It throws it in thread pool. In thread pool, we have a timer for functions. We have a timer for function. You see that small time stopwatch? We will be setting a timer. Now, can you look at this code and tell me what is the time that I have set? What is the time that I have set it? 1000. Here it is calculated in millisecond. So 1000 milliseconds is 1 second. It is 1 second. Or 1000 milliseconds. You can say 1000 milliseconds. So the timeout is 1000 millisecond. What is this callback queue will do? This callback queue, after that 1 second, it will call this task. After 1 second completion, this callback queue will ask a thread pool. Thread pool is the task function timeout is completed. That is how callback queue will ask thread pool. If it is completed, thread pool will send that task to callback queue. That task to callback queue. It will be coming from here to here. This callback queue will insert that task into event loop. It will push that task function into event loop. What is this event loop? This 1 second got completed, right? Event loop will now execute this task function. Event loop will execute this task function. This is where the actual execution takes place. It will be executed and then you will be seeing its output. That is what is happening in the background. See, task is coming here. The task is moving to event loop, and in the event loop, it gets executed. That is what is happening. Now you have already learned what is this thing? Set timeout. You have already learned set timeout. This is set timeout. I have already explained it to you what is a set timeout. Now next comes okay. Next you also have to know about clear timeout. Okay. Where I can explain you this clear timeout. Example 2, where is example 2? Let's take this example. Okay. This is not compulsory needed, but it is good to know. This knowledge is good to know. When you are keeping set timeout, oh, this is set interval. Oh, okay, I took a wrong one. Clear timeout. But this is clear interval, not timeout. Okay, maybe they have given it here wrong. I'll fix it, no problem. Here they have done a small mistake. They talked about clear timeout and here they have given it as clear interval. These both are two different things. I'll fix it, no worries. Okay, let's take previous example. We'll take our own example. Okay. Oh, it's getting cleared before running only. Okay. So yeah, content is disturbed. Yeah, content there. Suddenly I lost the flow because they talked about timeout, but here they have given about clear interval. They both are different actually. Clear timeout is different. Clear interval is different. I'll tell you now. So yeah, once to come on, look at the screen. I'll talk about clear timeout. Now, whenever you create a set timeout, it is again whatever thing I'm gonna teach now is not compulsory for you to do. It is a good practice. Let's say it is a good practice. Whenever you create a set timeout, whenever you create a set timeout, after 1 second, maybe like at the end of the code, at the end when you are doing a project, at the end, always try to add clear timeout. Always try to add clear timeout. What is this clear timeout will do? This clear timeout will remove this set timeout. Like set timeout, it is creating some task, right? After that gets executed, still set it actually in nowadays JavaScript removes it. It removes it automatically. But sometimes this set timeout function will be still stored in your computer. To remove that, we do clear timeout. We do clear timeout. Or else wait. While n is greater than, oh no. If n equals to, let's remove some numbers. I'll show you how clear timeout works. Clear timeout ID. Or else I can just write clear timeout also. But it's not, this didn't got printed. Okay. .779 still I have to get it down. Or else still I'll reduce it. Okay, it changes from 2.79 to 2.76. Not much difference, but yeah. If I add this clear timeout in the last also, it won't work. Why? Because it's a very small number and the function is not doing much. That's why I'm not able to show it to you clearly. Here I can add it, but let's check. Yeah, see, it's not getting executed set timeout because this execution happens before 1 second. I should make out somehow do it after 1 second. So okay, once to look at the screen for set interval, I'll show it to you better. Or else I'll search in internet and give you one good example. So clear timeout is nothing but it will clear your set timeout function from your stack. That's it. In your stack, or else tell this thing. Do you all agree that the set timeout function will be in your stack or not? Yes or no? Do you all agree that set timeout function will be in your stack or no? Yes or no? It will be in your stack or no? Yes, right? It will be present in your stack. Sometimes JavaScript nowadays it is very updated. Yes, this 12 and all came. It automatically removes it. But at that time, in like previous versions of JavaScript, that call stack, even though it is run, even though it is executed, it still presents in the stack, which creates some problems during some applications. So they have come up with this concept called clear timeout. What clear timeout will do is, whenever you set timeout, you can also at the end of your project you can use clear timeout. This clear timeout will remove that set timeout from your stack. It will just clear it. That's it. Have you all understood what clear timeout will do? It just removes set timeout from the stack. That's it. Have you all understood what clear timeout will do? Just a yes or no, that is enough. If not, I'll try to do extra something. Yes, right? Okay. Then no problem. Then this is how it looks like. Set timeout and the function in the milliseconds. Such G. Not set timeout, clear timeout. It usually takes its ID. A variable, any variable. This one I have to tell them that it's a wrong example. Now let's see what is set interval. Set timeout is different, set interval is different. The good example I can show with greet. Best example. First, I'll show you with set timeout. Now you'll understand the difference between set timeout and set interval. Uh, Answer me two things in the chat. For how many times hello world got printed, and for how much second it got printed, how much time that does it took, and how many times it got printed. Answer me two things in the chat. How many times it got printed and how many seconds it took to print. 1 and 1000. That's exactly right. 1 and 1 second, or 1 and 1000 milliseconds. It is right. But it printed only once. Remember, it printed only once. Now, if I change it to set interval, if I change this to set interval, how many times it is printing? And what do you think the difference between each time it prints? Guess it. You can actually guess it and tell me how many times it is printing and how many seconds it is taking to print each thing. That's exactly right. After 1 second, and it prints infinity number of times. We have to stop it, otherwise again fan will rotate in my laptop. So interval, it performs the operation again and again and again and again, like a continuous. It keeps on performing that operation. It no not 1,000 times. It does more than 1,000 times. It goes to infinity. It's not 1,000. It goes to infinity. 1,000 is just a time here, milliseconds. Here, for every second, greet function will be called, and it will be called until and unless we stop it. Until and unless we stop it, set interval will be keep on running. Now, did you understand the difference between set interval and set timeout? Did you understood the difference or not? Set timeout and set interval. At every interval of 1 second, it will print. Yes, that's exactly right. Again, I'm explaining. Same code, I'm not changing. I'm just writing set timeout. Set timeout will call this function only once. It will call this only function. That is also after 1 second of time. After 1 second of time, set timeout will call this greet function only once. That's it. Sorry. After 1 second, let's count 1 second, and we got hello world. But set interval will keep on calling this function. There's no stop for it. It will be keep on calling it for every 1 second. 1 second over, call it. 1 second over, call it. 1 second over, call it. Like that, every 1 second, this greet function will be called. Hello world. See, it will be keep on calling. And one more thing, a good question Ashu asked in the chat. I have not included curly braces for the greet. I have not. I'm actually I'm thinking why no one asked me regarding that. Someone found it. Greet function, I have never ever kept curly braces. Why? Because for set timeout and for set interval, the first parameter is always a function. It is always a function. So you no need to call it again. Automatically, JavaScript is intelligent enough. You just write the function name and it will be called automatically. You no need to add this thing. You no need to add this thing. See, if you add this thing, then you will get a problem. But if you don't add it, then only it works, because automatically it gets added, because this is a function parameter. It gets added automatically. So when using set timeout and set interval, do not use this calling brackets when calling. How to stop set interval? You cannot stop it, but there is a way to stop it. We can stop it using clear interval. We can stop it using something called clear interval. What is this clear interval? It is exactly how clear timeout works. It works exactly like that, but it is called clear interval. Clear interval. If you see now, I am calling this display count function for every 1 second. For every 1 second, I'm calling it. When the count is reaching exactly 5, after exactly 5 number of times, I'm calling clear interval id. the interval will be cleared. Now use your knowledge and tell me how many times my display count will be run and total how many seconds it's gonna take. How many times my display count will be called and how much time, how much total time it's gonna take. Total time. Five and six. Only for set interval and timeout. Only for set interval and set timeout, Ashu. Till now, what are the functions that I taught? Only set interval and set timeout has that feature. 5 and 5. That's exactly right. Maybe, but sometimes it may go to 6 because of the computer configuration, but usually it is 5 and 5. Let's run. Count 1, count 2, count 3, count 4, count 5, and the interval stopped exactly 5.114 seconds. So it has been called 5 times and it took 5 seconds. So that is how we stop a interval, clear interval. That is how clear interval is used. Yeah, that is about this asynchronous thing. Only two things you have to keep it in mind for this. One is set timeout. The second is set interval. These two functions are used. If they're inbuilt functions, they are used to make your code asynchronous. So yeah, that's it for today's class.